and Kaufman will address the rest people of the show of Israel. So, this is a live stream for the evening hours. Basically, I'm trying to reach a new audience because I've been speaking to all the day people about the situation that's happened where intruders violated my rights, or intruders came upon my property, and they claim their regulations supersede Bill of Rights, and they attacked me, and they used excessive force when I was showing no resistance except for I did not want to be choked to death, and I kept my chin down where they couldn't choke me to death, and I didn't want to be slammed on my face while my hands was behind my back. So my natural instinct is to keep my hands in front of me while someone's on my back pushing me down. You know, my natural instinct is to kind of hold me up. So that is the basic situation. You can go back and review the short streams and the short videos where actually shows the incident where he attacked me, and I had my camera on. I got that caught on the video, luckily, so I was able to show everyone what happened. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about why I confront these churches, Protestants, Catholics, any person who wants to claim they're Christians, and I address the churches first. Well, because simple biblical principle says that everything begins in the church. And the way it seems like these days is everyone's falling after the state, and that's all these people who claim to be these churchgoers. Such as, this is going to be out to, I'm looking for all these protest groups that is out here in Topeka, Kansas last year, standing against these devil cult groups that was at the Capitol building. So I'm looking for those people to come out here and stand up for this case coming up June. And I left my email in the description, so you have to check out the email in the description so you can connect with me, and I'll tell you more information, details about the court date, or if you have any other questions or information, I can address you. So that's the situation with court dates. If you want to know that information so you can show up to my court date, contact me in the description box below. So, I already talked about the topic of why I confront Catholics and Protestant churches first, because everything begins in church. Next, I'm going to be talking about, I'm looking for these protester groups, like the people who stood last year at the Capitol building against these devil cult groups, or even the people who wants to stand with these no kings or these ICE groups during this year and stand at the Capitol building in Topeka, Kansas, where this situation has occurred where my rights have been violated, and my rights is your rights, because if they're going to violate one person's rights, they're going to violate anybody's rights out here. And that's the situation we're facing. So I'm looking for people who wants to stand up for the situation of where intruders came upon my property, and they want to tell me that their regulations supersede the Bill of Rights. Hey, I'm good. Fajar Mohammed, I'm good. How are you doing? I'm just talking about an incident that happened on back last week, or actually on the 7th, I believe it was, where intruders came up on my property. You're gonna have to check out those videos because I got caught on live stream where they attacked me. So I'm calling out people in Topeka, Kansas to stand up for my rights, because my rights is their rights, because the rights I'm standing up for is the Bill of Rights in the USA area. So called out the protesters. I talked about the churches. Now I'm going to talk about the military. Any of you people in the military out there on this live stream? Because this military, I got to address them and say, hey, you guys are supposed to be showing up also. And it's written in the Holy Bible about this situation. So I'm going to just go through one Bible verse, because there are a lot of believers, of Christian believers and churchgoers that wants to claim they're in the military. So I address all these Christian and churchgoers, people who wants to, no matter where they stand, because that's the whole situation. It seems like no one's standing for the right reasons, but everyone's standing for their own selfish reasons. So here's what it says in the Bible. Cursed are they who do the Lord's work carelessly. Cursed are those who keep the sword from shedding blood. And that's in Jeremiah 48, verse 10. So when these military people are keeping their guns in their pocket and not standing up for a person's rights and just letting the terrorist groups, what I call them, these judicial terrorists out here, do whatever they want. And all they need is a badge out here. And these military people are calling them their brothers in arms. You know, things wouldn't get so out of hand where a person, hello from Italy, I'm looking for people in Topeka, Kansas. It's people all over the globe. I appreciate you showing up, but I'm talking and addressing more people in the U.S. situation because that's where these rights are being violated. I don't know how it is in your other countries, but I know how it is in the state I live in. So I'm addressing the military right now because they're keeping their guns in their own pockets and keeping it from shedding blood when it's a situation when it got out of hand. If they followed their oaths, defended the Constitution, and did what was right in the first place, they would have never got out of hand like this, where the badge holders think that any regulation supersedes a person's humane rights. When that's the whole reason we had a revolution in America back in the 1700s, because the humane rights the British soldiers was violating, and the king was overseas just dictating them from thousands of miles away, just dictating the situation, and never able to, the people are never able to confront the people. So it's called taxation without representation. Much like a similarity today where they hide behind these computers and screens and hide behind these bodyguards and Secret Service, but they don't want to face a person out here who they've wronged, because as in the Kansas Bill of Rights, the state I'm speaking against, it says I can approach any department in the government department thereof and seek a grievance and remedies for the situation. And this is where the violations are being, or this is where they are violating the right, where we can't go and even seek them. Because when I went and saw any government, it's a chain you go through, basically a circle jerk situation where you never get anywhere. And once you get to the end of the line, you get sent back to the very beginning person, and it's no one's responsibility. And so when you go and take it to the governor, the highest official of the state, there is no governor that's sitting in the office. I went there for about a month straight, numerous times trying to seek the governor, even sent a certified letter where she had to only sign it. And instead of me speaking to a governor ever, I spoke to his secretary. And his secretary said she's going to violate my 13th and Third Amendment of my 16th Third Amendment of the Kansas Bill of Rights. So what's a person supposed to do these days when they want to violate the person's rights? That's what I say. My rights is your rights, because the rights I'm standing for is the rights for everyone and the humane rights in the state, in Kansas and the U.S. Go in Iran. Constant pin. Hello, Jace. Go in Iran. I don't understand that, because I'm not talking about nothing about the war, because I think that's a big blindfold that they put over your guys' eyes, because the way it seems like everyone's at peace these days, and everyone wants to argue about Trump. Well, the situation is the gas prices was just this high when the Democrats was in office. So there's no difference between Trump being in office or Democrats being in office and the gas prices being the same. There's no difference in the policies and procedures besides, it goes up and down, because that's what they want to do, is just keep it. It's a yo-yo to them, and that's they're playing games with everybody. So that's how it's going down in the U.S. I just addressed why I confront Catholic churches and Protestant churches. I'm calling out the protesters to show up at the court dates in the description. I addressed the military. Now I'm going to talk about basically, what is it? All right. So now I'm going to be talking about addressing these judges and all these other people. And it's a biblical, because like I said, I live my life on these biblical principles. And as it says in Wisdom of Ben Sira, 27 verse 5 through 7, the furnace tests the potter's vessel. The test of a person is in the conversation. The fruit of a tree shows the care it has had. So speech discloses the bent of a person's heart. Pray no one before he speaks, for it is then that the people are tested. So like I said, when they want to not let the person go and to these departments, like it says in the Kansas Bill of Rights, when they refuse a person to get justice in a situation where they've wronged them, stuff happens, and then they question why bad things happen. But nonetheless, that's why I go to test these people. I go to these offices and test these people, and no one wants to stand up and speak for their justice. No one wants to stand up and speak for what's right, because they know they're in the wrong. And if they wasn't in the wrong, they would be able to confront anybody. They wouldn't be hiding behind their screens. They wouldn't be hiding behind these bodyguards. They wouldn't be hiding behind all these people. So, with that being said, I would talk about the music industry, but I'm just going to kind of wrap it up because I just want to see what this was about in the evening hours, see what kind of people are out here in this evening hours, see if there's anyone who wants to stand up. But it seems like everyone's just global or international and no one's in the U.S. So that also goes to show how the U.S. people are, or how these algorithms are, how they want to set a person up who's trying to target an area, and they want to just send them all to international audience where, it doesn't even make any sense. So if YouTube wants to do what's right, get that stuff corrected. If anyone sees this video later, let me get subscribed if you are down for standing for your rights, whether you be anywhere in the international world or even in the United States, who I seek out and look for. So y'all have a good night and evening, and I'm out.